Welcome back to this special edition of On the Couch. My name is Lee Smith, and thank you very much for joining me. Today we're going to be looking at some questions we held from the World Plumbing Day. But before I get there, please remember to going to be difficult. You're more than happy to bring your questions in to us, but send your questions in through the WhatsApp, online, Facebook, wherever it is. Let it come into us, and then they will be put forward to myself or the experts in the industry where they can answer it directly with you, the plumber. But let's kick off with those questions from the World Toilet Day. Today on the couch, I have the privilege of having Duncan, a board member of the PRRB, a well-respected individual in the industry, but he's here to talk with me as a licensed plumber. Welcome, Duncan.
Welcome, Lee. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. So tell me a little bit about your company. Let's get into that specifically, because I know how long you've been a plumber.
So I qualified as a licensed plumber in 1994.
94.
Yeah.
That's when I left school. No, I lie. It's when I finished studying.
So I did a 4-year apprenticeship, 1994, qualified, then travelled over the world and then returned back to Joburg to run and start a business. And so UPP Group is our company. We are an empowerment company, and we're also about smart, sustainable water solutions.
Okay.
So we want to make a difference in Southern Africa, and we've got a 10-year target where we want to empower 100,000 people, and 50% of those being women. So that is our target. And at UPP Group, what we do is we empower people through IOPSA, PRB, through the way we work, and obviously the way we train and give opportunity to licensed plumbers, other plumbing businesses. We have a company called Coach Up, which we also coach businesses in, especially like startup businesses that want to grow. We teach them the basics and we get them to the journey of entrepreneurship.
Making a real difference.
Making a difference. That is the point. Empowerment is the main. UPP stands for unlocking people's potential. And that's why we exist. And today I think we're going to talk about being, water-wise and sustainability.
100%. So important now.
100%, yeah. And in our business, that's what we're about. So we've ventured off from fighting with the guys outside, builders holding up a sign saying they need a plumber, to going into the water world, which is sustainability, which is saving water. So we do from rainwater harvesting to water filtration, treatment plants. We do specialized smart metering, anything to do with water where we can save it. So even the specialized toilets that are saving with air, and anything to do with water where we can offer the client a better condition of water. And obviously we recycle water too. So we're also involved in grey water, wastewater treatment plants we've been involved in. So we've really moved in a different direction in terms of...
Yeah, so it's I just want to touch on something you said, that you moved away from the normal general day-to-day plumbing and went into a specializations. And it is interesting to when we have conversations with plumbers, and we ask them how business is out there, and what you generally find is the guys that have specialized in today's times is the guys that are really saying that they've got work, they're performing and going. Is that similar to you guys?
Very similar. So we kind of like overloaded. We are in a unique space, and it's almost like there's room to move, but there's a lot of people looking out for your type of skill. Because trust me, I use the example, you're not going to get someone who stands out builders lifting up a card and say, I'm a water treatment plant specialist.
Not yet.
Not yet. You're not going to get that type of guy and that skill. So I think from, and I think this is where PRB comes into play, and IOPSA is to create that space for the guys to learn about this uniqueness, in the industry. And I think water is the gift. It's the commodity, or the what we want to look after the most. And I think if everybody can save water and have that idea of saving water and do it, they become very unique in what they do.
Yeah, I was speaking to the youngsters outside, and we coined the phrase, well, not necessarily with the youngsters, but we coined the phrase internally, is that plumbers transport the most valued commodity on earth.
That's it. We bring clean water in, we take dirty water out, and then we recycle it.
That's correct.
We reuse it. And
not yet, but we've got to get into that.
Listen, I'm already being approached by big companies, sustainability companies, especially with our women in plumbing, big into the ESG movement. Especially companies like I work with, Redefine, Vukile Properties, Growth Point, these big guys where they want us to look after their buildings. So we do a return on investment for them. So let's say, for instance, from a borehole to an underground water to storage, like Loftus Versfeld. We're even doing a project at the moment where we're going into an old mine shaft and extracting water from a mine shaft, then taking it through a filtration process, into storage, and then into reticulation for the whole 300 hectares of industrial land. Now, what the smart guys are doing at the moment is they are going to sell the water back to the consumers and go off the grid in terms of infrastructure from council.
Yeah.
So at the moment, let's say water in Pretoria is really cheap, probably sitting at around 35 rand a litre, whatever, kiloliter. Joburg sitting around 65 to 85, depending where you're at. We, through water treatment, can produce water at about 9 rand.
A kiloliter.
A kiloliter, yeah. And that's already, a no-brainer.
That's a no-brainer.
Exactly.
Very similar to solar.
Exactly. And that's what we just started new projects now where we did the owner of Vukile Properties, the MD, where we took his whole house and we converted from rain into tanks, filtration back into his house. And that's the model that I think a lot of the bigger companies are going to be looking at, is to rent the solar, rent the water.
Yeah, and just before we take a break, is that, and we're going to delve a little bit more deeper into it, is that, do you see as a business, and you spoke a lot about corporates, you spoke about big, because obviously this is not cheap money. It's not cheap. It's a lot of capital up front, even though the business sense is there. Yeah. Are you starting to see, and we'll answer it after the break, is that are you starting to see that the shift into the domestic market, the consumer, from that point of view?
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll touch on that when we get back. Let's take a break, and we'll be back shortly. We will continue the conversation with Duncan.
Good day. How can I help you?
Hi. I'm here to log in my COCs, but I seem to be having an issue with my computer.
No problem. But did you know that you can log your COCs using an app on your cell phone?
Oh, what app is that?
It's called the App Plumber. Do you have a smartphone with you?
Yes, I do.
Oh well, let me show you how it works.
Not only can you access your PIRB profile on the App Plumber, but you can also earn CPD points while exploring the plumbing industry in the palm of your hand. Download the app from Google Play Store and join thousands of other happy users. The PIRB Master Plumber Recognition Program has officially arrived. As an essential service to society, there must be constant growth and development within this important and ever-changing industry. Developed by the PIRB, the Master Plumber Recognition Program has launched as a new PIRB designation, allowing industry champions to take the lead. Skilled and experienced plumbers equipped to take the lead, enroll today to start your journey in becoming a recognized PIRB Master Plumber.
Welcome back from the break, where I'm joined on the couch with Duncan Kill, an executive director and a owner and manager at UPP. Duncan, just before we left, we were having a conversation about the renewable market, specifically in the water filtration and the reusing of water and using grey water and filtrating and putting it back. But we were talking majority about in the commercial market. Can I ask you how you're experiencing the shift from the commercial space into the domestic space within your own business? And maybe because you are so close on the ground, with the rest of how that shift is taking place.
Yeah, I think for us it's easy on the commercial side because the commercial guys obviously have the money and it's easy access to that. But I think for typically in the plumbing industry, the move and the shift would be towards PRB teaching the guys into the harvesting of rain and utilizing water that way. It's a mind shift. So I think there's a big market there, and I think personally, my question to you is, what are you guys going to be doing to help the market be guided in that direction, because it's a water-wise thinking. It's not just the normal plumber. It's a new direction. You know, it's almost like a different designation, if you want to call it. But you know, what are you guys doing?
So I think let me put it. It's new knowledge. It's new
technology
and things like that. And you know, in the professionalism, in the PROB, it's all about, or being a professional is about gaining that knowledge and things. And you said it earlier, is that you shifted from the normal plumbing space into the specialization space. Now that didn't fall from the sky and you just decided. Yeah, I mean you uplifted, you continuously developed yourself, you learned the thing, and therefore put yourself into that position to do that.
Yeah.
But before I respond to you about what we're doing as an industry, you know, and as the PRLB, is that I don't think maybe you just missed my question with regards to you're working in the commercial space. I understand that.
Yes.
Do you see more people asking you in the domestic environment about this? About
100%.
renewable?
100%. So you know, if you look at the solar industry, and you look at what's renting solar, you've got Go Solar and all these companies that they basically install the whole system for you up front, and you just pay a monthly fee. Now, water is going in the same direction for domestic.
Yeah.
And so basically you would have basically rainwater, or even a combination of backup water, municipal and rain together. If you've got a bit of underground, you can also utilize that. But generally, if you've got rainwater and domestic municipal water, you could have a combination of 75 rain and 25 council, and you've got almost free rainwater for 9 months of the year, if you want to call it. Now that domestic space is a great space to be in, and I think that's, you know, typically the move. People are starting to ask more about it. I mean, just in the last month or so, you've seen a lot of areas in Joburg without water, 12, 15 days. No backup systems are going to cover you for that. But look at now, with all this beautiful rain that we're having, you know, there's abundance of water, you know, and there it is. That's the space.
Yeah, and it's not just about let's collect the water and shove it into our system. There are a plethora of problems.
So there's challenges. I mean, there's pre-filtration. You know, you've got to do your research. You've got to understand. And for me, it would be a space to help young entrepreneurs, train them in the areas of pre-filtration, first flush systems, you know, big maelstrom, you know, micro filtration, stuff like that, and then post tank, you know, filtration.
Yeah. So.
You know, so all of those little things that are.
So I haven't lost sight of your question, and something that is very interesting is that obviously, like yourself, and you were around when the solar started, and it's happening exactly the same. And that's why we needed to. We as an industry, we need to be at the forefront to actually get the knowledge into the, you know, obviously you're specialized and you took it upon yourself, but as we're moving into the domestic market, there's going to be a massive uptake, and we're going to have every Tom, Dick and Harry now stepping into that specific space, saying they are the be-all and end-all of the world in the filter, and therefore we need to position ourselves, and I think it's our responsibility as the industry to do that. So with that said, you asked the question, what are we doing from a professional body point of view in respect to that? Yeah. So we started the journey, and this conversation has been, I mean, we've had this conversation for almost probably about 6 months, and even before that one, we've had this conversation. But it's interesting of note that we've started that journey. As you're aware, the board gave us approval to start the development of a formal curriculum. When I say a formal curriculum, a curriculum that is aligned to a designation, which will be created within the PRLB. And I think it's very important to understand it's not just about creating training material. You still have to create what the benchmark is, and that's what we're doing. We're saying that if you wish to deliver training, whoever it is, yourselves, you know, as being experts in the industry, or whoever it is, we ought to benchmark it against something. So we as an industry have started that journey, and we're putting that thing together. It's most probably going to be February, March. We'll have the final approval from that point of view. And then we will allow the industry to take it, train up to it. Obviously, then the next stage is going to be, well, now we need to assess you against that. Once you've done that, then we'll formally give you your designation. And then hopefully the certificate of compliance will follow suit, because it all boils down to, I wouldn't say boils down to the certificate, but the certificate is giving that assurance to the client, saying that I, as the professional, the competent person, under the guidance of the people who are doing it, I'm giving and signing off the specific job.
And Lee, you know the beauty of when you combine water saving with a plumber is that, you know, in my opinion, I've been in the industry around and I've looked at some of the water filtration that's around at the moment, and it's all done in this black Plasson, you know, HDPE pipe, which is a below ground pipe, so it looks really hideous and it's terrible. But when you bring that artist into it, and especially a plumber who knows pipe work and stuff like that, it makes it look sexy. It makes it look proper. So I think there's going to be a big market for it, and I think the guys will love getting their teeth into some really, you know, solution-driven type of projects where they've got to design and supply, and with that designation around you and the training, it's a business on its own.
Good, 100%. Yeah, and it uplifts us as plumbers as well.
Yeah, for sure.
But you have to own that space.
Okay.
You know, we can't own it for you.
No.
And we can just lay it in front of you and say, you need to own that specific space.
Just support, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting to note is that, and just following on from that value commodity, I had a meeting just before, and we were talking, you know, about load shedding, you know, and they say, but you know what, as long as you can go to the toilet, then load shedding is all right. And I said, well, what you're telling me is that a plumber is the most important person in your life. Anyway, Thank you, Duncan, for joining us.
No, thank you.
With that said, we're going to go and pay the bills, and we're going to go to an ad break.
It's an exciting time to be a professionally registered plumber. The PIRB's leaderboard provides plumbers with the opportunity to be placed onto a ranking system to see how they perform amongst their peers around the country. This ranking system enables both plumbers and consumers to identify top local plumbers and monitor their performance nationally and regionally. Consumers will always look for the best, and at the top is where you'd want to be. It is therefore very important to be dedicated to continuously upskilling yourself through continuous professional development activities. The CPD points you accumulate during the CPD program will allow you to be rated on the leaderboard as you grow. The ranking system runs on a 3-month rolling average, where you can find yourself at the very top by accumulating more points than your peers. Top-ranked plumbers also stand a chance to win prizes through a lucky draw, where winners are announced on the PIRB's Plumbing 101 shows on YouTube. Do not miss out on the opportunity to be highlighted as an elite plumber in South Africa. Start accumulating points and become one of the best. Get skilled, get rewarded.
Welcome back from the break, and just thank you to my guest, Duncan, for that special insight that you brought to the plumbers. Before we go, I'd like to just swing over to some questions, some video questions that were put forward to us. So take it away.
Hi, my name is Ali Shabangu from Rubber Training. I'm well known by Men Ali. I've got a question for you guys. Why it is like this in plumbing industry? Men of plumbers, they were chosen by the industry. Like me, myself, I will never choose the industry. Since 1982, I do a plumbing up to today. I never said, this is the dirty job. I always call it, this is the good job for me. Because I trust on me and I believe that this is the only thing that I can do for my life. And I'm also training the plumbers. I think I've got 2 million or 1 million in South Africa, the plumbers that were trained by me and prepared by myself to become an artisan. Last year, I met one of my friends say that I would ask here in this room. They are already here to upgrade their level to become a licensed plumbers. which is Thabo Mihwe and Tori Mogadi. So my question is, why are we struggling to get work in this industry, but we are also overqualified? As I'm standing in front of you, I've got all the paper that is necessary for me to stand here or to become whatever that I am now. I'm a qualified plumber, I'm a licensed plumber, I'm an assessor, I'm a trainer, I'm a solar installer, I'm a heat pump installer, and all those categories, I train them as it is. I'm licensed, I'm registered. Even the higher education, they knows me as one of the facilitators in the construction industry. I thank you.
Thank you, Ali, for that question. It's a very difficult one to answer, but I'm going to answer it in two parts. One is we acknowledge the fact that all plumbers have achieved their qualification. And the thing is, you are competing against people in the industry that are unqualified. So therefore, it makes the pool of this, you have put all your time and effort into achieving your qualification. But what is happening out in the marketplace is that people are operating in your space that haven't gone through the necessarily time and effort and input that you have done and all other plumbers have done, and therefore actually are stealing the work away from him. I use a very good example of teachers, and no disrespect to them. So what they would do, what they tend to happen is, and again, please, I'm using examples of teachers, they would leave the school environment for whatever reason and decided, well, we're going to become experts in construction or in plumbing or whatever it is, get a couple of tools, and then they start practicing the trade or doing the trade, taking a work away from qualified people. But here's the point, and this is there's no disrespect to teachers, is that if we wanted to become teachers and trying to become into the trade of teaching, sorry, we're blocking you because you have not got a qualification or the necessarily experience or whatever it is that is required to do teaching or operating in the teaching. So I just use that as an analogy. So please, teachers, don't shoot me. So what we have to do as an industry is to make sure, and through the professional body, is to make sure that we elevate the likes of you, the people with those qualifications within the plumbing industry. And that is what we do on a daily. We take you and we make sure that you who carry the necessary qualifications are correctly promoted and acknowledged in the industry as the professional in the industry. However, Ali, we must also remember that within the pool of plumbing, you're going to have a whole lot of qualified plumbers as well. So you're competing not just against the unqualified people, you're competing against the qualified people as well. And that is where continuous professional development plays a difference, is that you must continuously upskill yourself, understanding new technologies that are coming out, and be at the forefront of that technology. So it's not just about the skill set you received as your qualification, but how you improve on the qualification. So to make sure that you have the right skill set that you can promote over and above just the normal qualified plumber in the industry. So keep that continuous development up front, keep driving at it. I mean, when we have conversations with plumbers around there, what you tend to find out there with the plumbers is those people that have specialized, in other words, developed or continuously upskilled themselves in a specific niche of area, tend to be more successful out there than just a normal plumber who's just doing it day to day. So have a look out there, solar, heat pumps, water savings, all that is available to you to upskill yourself, and look for the various courses. Go onto the PRLB's website, have a look, and you'll be directed to specializations, as we call them. Take it up and move forward. But thanks for the question, Ali. So let's have our next question from Thabo. Thabo, take it away.
Hi, my name is Thabo Mekwe, a learner plumber. I am working with Ali High-Tech Plumbing. I've got a 4-year experience up until now. The person who is mentoring me and who introduced me in plumbing is Mr. Ali Shabangu. Now, my question is that I've got a question based on saying we get as much youth in a training, for a training in plumbing. Basically, that training comes it comes basically that people can be trained in plumbing. After they've trained, they get a certificate, and that's it. It's done. It's done. So I want to know, what can PRB do with those young plumbers who are upcoming in order for them to grow in the industry, because they get trained, they get all these things. After that, they are not exposed to in a field of work. They only get the certificate and that's it. I don't think it is not helping in an industry, and it is not helping in a community as a whole. That was my question. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Thabo. But a bit of a difficult question to answer, because the reality is that if I have to really go down to that question, is that what you're asking us from the PRRB's perspective is that, how can I get work for you? Now, it's extremely difficult, because that relies up to you to go and get work. What the PRRB is breaking the barriers down to elevate you as a plumber. The growth lies in you. The upliftment lies in you as an individual. So you have to continuously work at it, continuous developing yourself, continuously uplifting yourself. But from a point of view that promoting you as an individual, very difficult, but promoting us as a profession and a plumbing industry, as professionals working in it, that's what the PRRB will do for you as a youngster and for the industry at large and all plumbers working in it. However, I would like to just add is that you want to grow in yourself, right? Go to, like the previous question for Ali, go to the PRRB website, have a look at the CPD programs that are available to you. They are for free. Some of them you pay for, but they are there that you can take up and grow and make yourself better and make yourself more economically value to the industry and to your customer. But thanks, Thabo. I wish you luck. Thank you for joining us, and we really appreciate that you're taking your time out, and especially sending those questions to us. Keep them coming, and we'll be here to answer them. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.